Good evening, and welcome to the Candidate Forum for the City of Rock Island. This is sponsored by the American Association of University Women, the Greater Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the League of United Latin American Citizens, the Republican Women of Rock Island, the Rock Island County Democratic Women's Club, and the Rock Island League of Women Voters. My name is Kate Williams. I'm a resident of Crystal Lake, Illinois. So I'm not able to vote in your election, and I'll serve as your moderator tonight. First, a brief word about the League. The purpose of the League of Women Voters is to promote political responsibility through informed and active participation in citizens in government. The League's nonpartisan. We don't support or oppose any political party or candidate. It is political in that it reaches positions on selected government issues after members study it, come to agreement, and take action for positive change on those positions. Throughout its history, the League of Women Voters has been providing opportunities for candidates seeking public office to take their case directly to the voters. League forums are an expected part of a political campaign for every level of public office. Leagues are seen as fair, unbiased, and competent providers of information to the voters. League forums are controlled by the League, not by the candidates. Here are the ground rules that were given to the candidates before the forum. Each candidate will give a 2-minute opening statement, and that's a great opportunity for you to mention your Facebook, webpage, or an email address. The format for tonight is a question and answer. It's not a rebuttal. What you'll hear is the candidates and their perspective of the questions. Questions have been sought through Facebook and the partnership groups for well over a month and a half now in order to cover a wide range of topics. Due to time constraints, we may not be able to ask every question submitted. The questions become the property of the League and can't be returned or discussed after tonight. Each candidate then will have, after their opening remarks, have 1.5 minutes to answer each question. Our timekeeper, Lisa Hanson, whose Zoom tile is denoted as timekeeper, will change the colors of her Zoom tile. The tile will start out green at the onset of the question, change to yellow to warn the speaker at 30 seconds, and then red when the time is up. The speaker must conclude their thoughts and remarks. Time limits are closely followed to ensure fairness, and we may have to mute your microphone if you run over that allotted time. We'll then conclude with a 1-minute closing by each candidate. If you want me to if you'd like me to repeat the question, just ask. And don't feel like you need to use up the entire 1.5 minutes for every reply. This is not a town meeting, so comments from the audience won't be accepted. So now you know the format. I'd like to have you each introduce yourselves, and you're running for the position of Mayor of Rock Island. Mike?
Hello, I'm Mike Thoms, lifelong resident.
Thank you. And Thurgood? Name?
Hello, how's it going? I'm Thurgood Brooks.
All right, thank you. Before we started the forum, they drew lots in order to determine speaking order. So our first candidate will be Mike Thoms, then Thurgood Brooks. They'll each have the opening remarks, and then after those, we'll launch into the questions, 1.5 minutes each. And then I believe there's 10 questions tonight. And then we'll go into our closing remarks. So again, I appreciate your involvement and your dedication to this job. So let's go ahead and get started. Mike, your opening statement, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. And it's Mike Thoms, just to have the people out there correct. Short bio is that I'm a lifelong resident of Rock Island. I'm 62 years old. My wife and I have been married 41 years. We got 3 grown children. All of them are married, and we have 10 grandchildren. And the two of the three children have actually moved back to the Quad Cities to raise their children here. So we have 7 grandchildren right here in the city of Rock Island. So we're very proud to have that. I started in the family business early on in age. I started in the bottom of the rung, so to speak, working in the warehouse, picking orders, driving trucks, learning how to run a forklift, and taking care of the customers that direction. Worked the 3rd shift and had to earn my way up into the business. I worked for 30 years for the family business. We were in the wholesale food distribution business. So it was a good run for me. My brothers and I were the 4th generation in the business. And so it was good for us. It was a good business. When I ran 4 years ago, I said I was going to grow the economy, work together, and listen. And I've done all those. We've grown the economy. We've expanded existing businesses, which, by the way, 80% of existing business, 80% of your growth typically comes from existing businesses. We've added some new businesses, big and small. Examples like McLaughlin Body, GTI, Agri Solutions, and then smaller ones, QC Coffee and Pancake, Asian Grocery Store, and others. We've added hundreds of jobs in the last 4 years. Working together, we've done a lot of private-public partnerships, and we had great results from that. So I'm trying to watch the timekeeper too here, but and we've done it with the chamber. We've done it with Dari. We've got Friends of Hallberg, a number of private and public partnerships, and like to see that continue and grow. We did it with the Rock Island Arsenal. Listening, we've held quarterly meetings, town hall meetings throughout the city, bringing the staff and bringing the council members to the meetings for people to ask questions and for us to listen to what's going on. Open door policy. Anybody can walk in at any time if I'm there, and they can ask questions of me.
All right.
So I want to let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Thurgood.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm Thurgood Brooks, and I'm running for mayor of Rock Island. I'm a lifelong resident here at Rock Island. I graduated from Rock Island High School in 2011, and I went off to study history and political science. I attended 3 universities, and I graduated from West Illinois Macomb with, like I said, my history degree and a minor in political science. I immediately came back home upon graduating because I saw the need for someone like myself to tap in and be invested in Rock Island due to the fact that a lot of my peers and people before me, and I fear the people behind me, would not see the access to opportunity, which would lead them to stay here in Rock Island, which caused us to lose a population, which has been going on for too long here now. And so what I've done, I founded 2 organizations since I've been home. One was Touch Cities Entertainment, which is a community-driven organization that works with youth and families behind the athletics and the arts, and also ensuring and importance behind civic duties. I also started another organization by the name of The Resolution this past summer, which works on with legislators and community to enforce policies. But prior to all that, and professionally, I have experience working as a banker, working as a finance and Modern Woodman. I also coach football right here at the high school where I played. I've been coaching for the past 5 years, and I've been awarded a promotion every year. And at this point, I'm a co-special teams coordinator, and as well as coaching second year at the varsity level. I also have experience coaching the Quad City Steamwheelers this past year, pre-COVID. And also, I'm a member of the Rock Island NAACP. I'm a member of the Human Rights Commission here. And this all is in the past 5 years. And this is why I know now I'm the best person for the job to be the next mayor of Rock Island. I'm tapped in, and all these angles I've involved myself in has allowed me to work with all Rock Islanders, which allowed me to create a team of 21 people that are diverse in age, sex, race, and ideologies, which help me ensure that we're doing the best and we have the best vision for Rock Island. You can find that on my website at thurgoodmayor.com and our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at thurgoodformayor.com. And I look forward to working with you. And thank you, League of Women Voters, for inviting me to this forum here today.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll start the questions and we'll rotate back and forth. So Thurgood, we'll start with you. First question, can you address how you'll work with the community to make it more equitable especially in terms of resources that are provided to the neighborhoods. So working with the community to be more equitable.
Most certainly. Thank you. And really it starts with actually working and communicating with all Rock Islanders. I said before, and I'll continue to say, I look forward to being the mayor from north to south and east to west of all Rock Island. And my team reflects that. As I said before, it's 21 people, and it is diverse enough to where we have tapped into the needs of all Rock Islanders from different levels. And so what I look forward to doing and with Rock Island is looking at what we have in place currently is from policies and things we may need to create, even positions possibly. Maybe it's a diversity, equity, inclusion officer, and someone that is tasked with the sole job of ensuring that there's equity and there's equitable policies and practices done at the city level. That's one major key that I think we need to look at. And also, we have to be transparent. When you're transparent, that allows your residents to know and understand. And I believe, because I know I'm from here, I believe Rock Islanders are smart enough and engaged enough and prideful enough to when they know they're willing to assist and work for the betterment of all peoples. And so what we're going to do, we're going to get to the table and bring everyone to the table and not neglect any areas and any peoples that we have done thus far. And I'm excited about it. I look forward to doing it, and we're going to get it done.
All right, thank you. Mike, same question. Can you address how you'll work to make our community more equitable, especially in terms of resources that are provided to the neighborhoods?
Yes, we do. We need to make sure that every neighborhood gets the help and services that they need, whether it's the police, if they're needed more police in one area or another, we will take care of those equities in making sure that it's balanced and people placed where they need to be. Not every place is exactly equal. And so to say that you have exact same number of dollars or the exact same number of staff or services applied to one part of the city or another is not, I think, a fair assessment. I think that you need to take a look at those areas and see what their needs are and meet those needs and make sure that everybody's needs are met, whether it be the services or whether it be an infrastructure, whatever a type of those needs. I hate to keep repeating using needs, but whatever that equity is that's needed. And so the resources should be available to all areas of the city.
All right, thank you. All right, second question, and Mike, will start with you. What's the most serious issue that Rock Island needs to address, and what are your solutions?
You know, the most serious issue is actually revenue. We've been struggling at trying to increase our revenue at the same rate as our expenses have been going up. The police and fire pensions have been going up $500,000 to $600,000 each year. And I give the example of we collect about $14 million in property taxes. Our obligation is now about $9 million for just the police and fire pension. Now, it's a promise made, should be a promise kept, but that doesn't leave much revenue to dole out in payroll and everything else. We do have some other revenue with sales tax, income tax, but the biggest issue is we need to increase our revenue. And the way to do that is build businesses, help existing businesses grow, bring in new businesses. Economic development is so important. It's the most serious issue that I feel that we have facing us at this time.
All right, thank you. Thurgood, same question. What are the most serious issues Rock Island needs to address, and what are your suggested solutions?
Besides ensuring our water stays and remains in our control, we need to grow our economy, and we need to ensure that everyone in Rock Island has a seat at the table. So we need to increase revenue. So we need to invest in people who are already here. You match capital to create, you match people with capital to create opportunity, excuse me. And so we must ensure that we're doing that in an equitable fashion. Why? We're losing our population and our economy is shrinking. Cities that leave some of their population behind fail. Cities that include everyone succeed. Data shows that. We must stabilize our population and stem the flow of people who go away from Rock Island and turn things around here. And so for some solutions, we have to offer or be able to offer something that people do not get in Davenport or Moline or Bettendorf. What makes Rock Island unique? What would attract businesses here? We must try new approaches. So that means looking for, that does not mean looking for a big box store to come in and save Rock Island, because it's not going to happen. Our diversity is our greatest asset, and so we must capitalize on it. We need a vibrant downtown, and we must invest in the people who are here and learn from those people and leaning on each other, including our school district, the unions. The magic is here at Rock Island. We must tap into it and celebrate it, and it must be on our basis of success. And that's the way forward, is working with all people and bringing them to the table, regardless, and ensuring that everyone's there.
All right, thank you. All right, third question. We'll start with you, Thurgood. What would be your first priority that you'd tackle after being sworn in May?
That's critical. And so first and foremost, we need to, I would look forward to meeting with all department heads and really getting a deep understanding as to what it is that they need, and listen to their concerns, and then moving forward to the vision that I have laid out with my team on my website. And what we're going to do, what that would do is I will be able to see what they need and then assess that to what we are doing and or can do. And once we understand that, well, I look forward to bringing everyone together in department heads and work with the city manager and the council that we'll have, and bringing the people back to Rock Island city government. Because what we need to do, and what I don't believe we have done enough, is seriously and engage and genuinely engage with the people and be transparent and honest to them behind what's going on in City Hall, the issues there, and asking and seeking true suggestion box. Because make no mistake here, when I become mayor, I'm not the sole or dictator. I'm not a dictator. And what I say is not what I expect to go entirely. The people will help push us forward. And what I look forward to doing is engaging with them honestly behind what we have and what we do not have and where we're going. So that way they know and we know the way out and the pathway forward to build Rock Island together.
All right, thank you. Mike, third question. What would be your first priority that you'd tackle after being sworn in May?
You know, actually, I got to say the tackle. I've been at this for 4 years, so I wouldn't be doing the tackle. I'd continue to do what we've been doing, developing the downtown area. We're investing some money in the capital. We hired a downtown manager. We've engaged with the DARI, a Development Association of Rock Island, 2 private groups to help with economic development. We work on job creation, because that's very important. Whether it be minorities, whatever type of business it is, we need to work on creating new businesses, small and large. We have a big spot in 11th Street that needs to be filled. So we need to continue to market that and work with that, make it productive, put it on the tax rolls, improve the quality of housing and add more housing. And so that's very important, affordable housing. But you know, one thing that I got to continue to fight right now and tackle, and would be also afterwards, is this stigma we have with selling the water and sewer. I do not believe that we should sell the water and sewer. I believe that we should make intelligent decisions as a group, as a city council, and with some the citizens' input, and make these intelligent decisions and have the facts. American Water is not the only company out there that would investigate this. There are many companies that would be interested in potentially purchasing the water system. So to do background insurance strictly on that one company does not make sense. We'll do an RFP, they would come to us, and we would base the decision on that. But myself personally, I think we should stay in that business. But we do need to make sure that we have a qualified educational information on making those decisions on those and others.
All right, thank you. All right, fourth question. We'll start with you, Mike. How do you plan to integrate yourself into the community?
You know, it's a good question. And I was trying to think about that. And, you know, I've been a lifelong resident. I've worked here worked in the business for 30 years. I've been involved in a lot of different organizations. So I'm not sure if I could get any more integrated than I am now. You know, I've sat on a number of nonprofit boards and helped lead their way. and develop it, whether it be Have Life, whether it be Junior Achievement, the YMCA, Trinity Hospital, the Niobe Zoological Society, US Bank, Bethany Home. I sat on, I mentioned Junior Achievement, but I sat on a lot of those boards and integrated into the city in a lot of different ways with those boards. We've got to remember, I've lived here, I've worked here, go to church here. My kids went to school here. I got involved with the school systems. I've sat on a number of committees with the Rock Island Mile school system. So I am quite integrated currently with this, not only city of Rock Island, but the whole Quad Cities, to help the city grow and to be integrated and work collaboratively with all the cities and people in the area here. So I'm trying to think of one area that I haven't been involved with. 62 years, I guess with maturity, that's what it brings.
All right, thank you. Thurgood, fourth question here. How do you plan to integrate yourself into the community?
That started on June 27th of 1993. That's when I was born. So I'm 27. And that's where my energy comes from and my vibrancy. And I graduated from Rock Island High School, 2011, played football, ran a little track and was state champion in there. You might see it behind me a little bit. I coached football at the Rock Island High School. I coached the Steamrollers. I'm a member of the Rock Island NBCP. I'm a member of the Rock Island Human Rights Commission. I work for the city of Rock Island as a city employee currently. All my professional jobs have been in Rock Island. I am Rock Island. It started when I was born, and it will continue until I die. I had no intention on leaving here. And in fact, I look forward to renovating my home on 15th Street across from one of the best parks in Rock Island, Longview, to show proof in real time my investment here in Rock Island and Rock Islanders. I firmly believe that I am integrated in so many facets among so many people here in Rock Island. And I understand, once again, what our greatest asset is in our diversity. And I've tapped into it in a way in which I believe no one here on this Zoom call is. And I look forward to expanding my role when I become mayor to include all peoples. And in my integration that you asked here will show, and the work that we do behind it will follow through. What's exciting.
All right, thank you. Fifth question, we'll start with you, Thurgood. This is kind of a fun one. If the city of Rock Island were to receive a grant of $1 million to be used any way that the mayor wanted, what would you do with the money if you were elected and you got the money?
Well, first and foremost, I hope that we'll be able to have more of a discussion. The mayor wouldn't have all the authority there. But to answer the question correctly, we have to fund all our positions here in our city departments and level. And so I met with our city manager, Mr. Tweet, and he told me, at least his numbers told me, that we need approximately $500,000 to fill all positions here at the city level, which will stay true to a consistent message in my campaign is ensuring Rock Islanders are getting a return on their investments. It's hard to get a return on investments if you not have nothing invested in there. And so we have to fulfill all of our spots with at least that $500,000 that's projected from our city manager. And with the other half, I will look forward to hiring a diversity and equity inclusion officer. As I mentioned earlier, it's important because we have to ensure our policies are equitable and they're working for all peoples. And along with that, another consistent message to my campaign has been transparency and strategy and follow through. And so you do that by creating and hiring a position of a transparent data analyst. And their job will be to take all of the data we have that is really not accessible. You can look at our website, is really not accessible, and ensuring that that data is transparent enough and accessible enough to all people, whether you have cable or not, or whether you have internet access or not, and making sure that you can access that information, because what we need to do, like I said, is make sure that return on investment is there and all Rock Islanders know what is going on a day-to-day basis the best way we can.
All right, thank you. Well, Mike, if the city of Rock Island were to receive a grant for $1 million to be used any way that the mayor wanted, what would you do with that money if you were elected?
You know, what I would do, what you would think that a person could do, and what I would think about doing at first was boy, let's work on streets. Let's reduce debt. Those are some of the biggest things that people bring up. But no, I really wouldn't. I would develop a low interest revolving loan program for women and minority startups. We don't have any program in place right now to be able to help startup businesses. And it's very difficult to find state or federal monies to help that. And people, small independents, that's the biggest thing they need is some capital to get started. So I would use it as seed money to help independent people, entrepreneurs, get started and make it a low interest revolving loan so it can continue to give in the future. So as it gets paid back, we can turn around and give it out to new people and keep that cycle going. So that's, once my whole campaign has been about economic development. And so as I thought about that, that fits right into what I've been talking about for months.
All right, thank you. Kind of in the same vein, but a little more concrete. And to you, Mike, what programs do you support to assist and attract new businesses to Rock Island, including supporting micro businesses and into the downtown area?
There's a number of programs that we have used and can use and can continue to try to expand on. But one is if it's in a TIF zone area, and we just finished that in the downtown area. But when there's a TIF, we can use TIF funds to be able to help projects economic development. Another one is we have what we call an enterprise zone, which is forgiving of the state sales tax on new construction, which saves a lot of money when people are looking at expanding or building a new building. And so that's one I would use. And where there's not a TIF, I'm okay with doing some rebating of property taxes. We've been able to get the school system and the county to go along with that on several projects here recently to give back as incentives. We also got COVID relief funds. And for the last year, we've given out not loans, but grants to people to not only stay afloat, but to potentially help them grow. So those are funds that we would continue to work with as those are available. There's opportunity zones is another one that we have 2 different opportunity zones in the city of Rock Island. So we use that as another tool in our toolbox. We just received this $27.5 million. We may want to take part of that and use that as a tool for economic development, facade improvements on buildings, and once again, seed money to start businesses up or help them grow. So there's a number of opportunities and tools. You can work with the state. We have a program called Forward that allows you to dive into programs available at state and federal.
All right, thank you. Thurgood. Programs to support and assist and attract new businesses.
So we have our facade program, as we mentioned earlier. We have our TIF program. We have revolving loan programs and others that are viewed on our website and you can assess. But the problem is this. It seems as if you have to be in the know to get access to these things. View our website. I encourage everyone listening, go look at our website. How accessible and how transparent is the information from a facade and TIF programs? If you're not a lawyer or tapped in things of such that in those fields, it's difficult to maneuver in those fields. And so we have to make sure that you don't have to know certain people to get those investments for you. And so what I look forward to doing is enhancing those programs and creating others that are accessible to the everyday person. Accessibility is important, and for too long, these programs seem to service about 5 to 10% of our residents. And I'm not saying we're only serving those people, but what I'm saying is this, that 5 to 10% seem to be in the know. And what we need to do is open these programs up to the point where that 90% knows about them, and they're not just saying what can be done. They say, oh, we are aware of this program, and they're taking advantage of the first-time home buyer programs and TIP programs. And lastly, I'll end with this. As far as our TIP programs, current administration has agreed to TIP programs with Century Woods and how the housing is there. And the follow-through has not been good enough, I would say, If you go by those complexes, they're in the ask the residents how it is, it's a mess. And so following through behind what we allow and taxpayers' money is important.
Thank you. All right. Question number 7, we'll start with you, Thurgood. Do you have plans for supporting the growth on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities?
Well, certainly. And really that growth will start here at home. We have a lot of vacant areas. We have a vacant space. And what's being done with those? The people who own a lot of these properties, residential and commercial, don't live in Rock Island. And most times that means they don't have an invested interest in Rock Island. So they leave these places abandoned and not up to code. And I have heard too many stories from residents and business owners who say that there are too many business or buildings, that are affecting their ability to run more successful businesses and take away the value of their homes. And so what we're going to do, we're going to hold those people accountable. If you have a building in Rock Island and you're not keeping up to code, we're going to enforce those policies we have in place and create others to ensure that you're doing what's best for Rock Islanders. Because we're not going to allow anymore. We're not going to allow those people who have these buildings to take up space and raise our property taxes because they're vacant and they're not being used and outpricing the sale of those, because we can't tell them what to sell or how much to sell it for. But what we can do, as I said before, is enforce those policies. And by doing so, those people would no longer be able to use this as a cash cow during tax season and use that capital they have in return for themselves in their pockets in tax time by saying they can write it off. So what we're going to do is hold them accountable, and Rock Islanders will be able to utilize these spaces in a better way, and it'll be investment. And then we'll see our property taxes go down, and you'll see more things for us to do because we'll be invested here, not people who don't live here.
All right. Mike?
Yes. Well, I guess I start out with, I believe in collaboration. So I would collaborate with all the cities and Quad Cities, not make it a us and them in Rock Island or Moline or East Moline, because we got to work together on these things. There's times that somebody has something located in Moline, maybe looking to have a second operation in Rock Island, or vice versa. So we need to make sure that we continue to work together because they may have a lead that they can't fulfill, and they can send that lead our way as far as a new business or an expansion. The other is working with the chamber. The chamber, they're about small businesses, small, medium-sized businesses. And that's what their memberships are made of. And so involvement with them, because they have an economic development side. They have where they bring leads to the cities. And so we need to work and continue working with the chamber on those leads. DARI, Development Association of Rock Island, is economic development, continuing that private partnership with a nonprofit. And they have and work in the economic development and also marketing. We talk about lowering our tax base. We need to increase our new businesses and else to lower the existing tax people. You can't buy your way out of this. You got to build your way out of this. And that's where we need to add more businesses. I think about, once again, down 11th Street, we have a big piece of property down there. We need to think differently how we're going to do it. Do we bring in a Topgolf, put an Olympic-sized pool in? We need to drive something that brings traffic that then brings more businesses down there that pays taxes. And so that's what continue to solicit. I've made trips to Chicago to trade shows and trying to find these businesses and developers.
All right, thank you. All right, question 8, we'll start with you, Mike. What steps will you take to increase citizen participation in government, both in terms of educating people, what's going on in the city, and encouraging volunteerism in your community?
One is we have currently 25 commissions and committees in different parts of the city, in different respects, whether it be the park board, whether it be zoning, whether it be Martin Luther King, we have 25 of them. And there's at least 10 people on each one of those boards in most cases. So it's 250 people involved in those. And most of them have term limits or they have expiring terms. And so we do rotate people around to get other people to have a chance to put their fingerprint on the city, so to speak. Along with that, as I mentioned in my intro, town hall meetings. We had quarterly town hall meetings to have people to come down and be able to express their opinions, their thoughts. We had people there that were qualified to make those answers and or make a decision or enact what is happening. So there's involvement with that. We once again might work with the translators and world relief and getting more people involved, at immigrants and refugees that are coming to town. We work with the police department to be able to have their town hall meetings, take it on the road, the show on the road. So it takes it to different neighborhoods. Instead of you coming to us, we're going to come to you and get involved. We have a forum called POCO that we use, that we can put questions out there that people can respond and answer those in their thought, give us their thoughts. So we have a software program out there called POCO that people can use. We've marketed that and put that out there so they have that opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Very good. What steps will you take to increase citizen participation in the local government, both in terms of educating people about what's going on in the city and increasing and encouraging volunteerism in the community?
I'll start with myself. So one thing I look forward to doing is creating a mayoral citizen advisory board, and what that will consist of citizens in all wards, all 7 wards, maybe 2 each, that will directly communicate with the mayor, and they will be my ears, so to speak, as to what the concerns are in each ward, and that'll be a regular meeting. One thing I look forward to doing is creating a partnership, an active one, so we don't have one currently, with our one and only school district here at Rock Island. And what that would do, and I'll kick that off by creating a book club for elementary kids, middle school kids, and high school kids, and where, imagine when the mayor of Rock Island comes into their school to read a book with them. It will drive our reading scores up. When kids can read, there's nothing they cannot do. And so that's what I look forward to doing. And I also wanted to engage with more community policing. And I want to form a community, a community and police commission. And that commission will consist of law enforcement agents, citizens, students, ex-felons. These are the people that need to come together and talk on a regular basis. That communication would drive more trust between both the community and the police, which will in turn make everyone safer, our officers and our community. And I also want our city council access is for everyone. Meaning we have translators, we have people who sign, and we also are making sure that it is there in a more accessible way, because we do not have access, or the best, I would say access as far as our technology, and to make sure our citizens are aware.
All right, thank you. Technology is always a challenge in this new world. Thurgood, we'll start with you. Question 9. How would you work with the other Illinois Quad cities to cut down on administrative overhead by combining services, not governments, but services, so they're more efficient and less costly?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part.
You bet. How would you work with other Illinois Quad cities to cut down on administrative overhead by combining services, not combining governments, but services, so that they're more efficient and less costly?
So one thing I'll look forward to doing is first making sure that the services that we have here are being administered best for Rock Islanders to start off with. And I'm all for regionalism. I'm all for making sure that the services are done in a way in which they are affordable, best affordable for our residents. But first, I'm the mayor of Rock Island, and we have to make sure our services are top notch for our residents. And so once we do that, then we can move forward with what we need to do and what we may be able to do outside the borders of Rock Island. And so what I look forward to doing with that is making sure and engaging at a higher level behind all platforms and potential resources, and ensuring that those services are cost effective across the board.
All right, good, thank you. Mike, question number 9. How would you work with other Illinois Quad cities to cut down on administrative overhead by combining services, not government, but services, so they're more efficient and less costly?
I would do this, not only do it several ways, we are doing it a number of ways, several ways, and we've implemented some new ones this last 4 years. But, we would meet and do meet monthly minimum, the other mayors and city managers, actually on both sides of the river, Iowa and Illinois, and the counties, Rock Island and Scott County, to talk about different issues, sharing best practices on how we run the inspections department, or what we do for ordinances, liquor laws, et cetera, to make sure that we try to stay consistent, building codes, to stay consistent from one city to another. That's one thing we've done, is we've actually combined, or not combined, but mirrored our inspection ordinances and construction ordinances, so that somebody can't pit one city against the other when they're doing a development. And it's saved money doing that. The other is sharing employees. We've shared health inspectors with the city of Moline recently here when they had someone off. We shared with them. They've shared employees with us when we were short somebody. And so we've done that. We also work with Bi-State Regional Commission and do group purchasing together. We purchase, whether it be salt, whether it be office supplies, whether it be janitorial supplies. We work on street grants, money from state and federal grants together, bike trails together. And so we share that information, try to pool our leverage with the different state and federal agencies to try to make sure that we get those bids. So we've saved a lot of money that way. We've actually worked with the Rock Island Arsenal. We just signed a 10-year agreement to we maintain their water system, their lights, and et cetera. And that brought more revenue in for the city of Rock Island. And so we collaborate with a lot of different people to save money.
All right, thank you. Question number 10, Mike, we'll start with you. What do you love about Rock Island?
I almost want to use a cliche. What don't I love about Rock Island? But, it's such a family oriented town. I use mine as an example. I'm the 4th generation in Rock Island. I got brothers and sisters that are here. I've raised my 3 children here. I got 7 of my 10 grandchildren here. Interesting enough, you talk about the boomerang effect, and is that I got 2 of my children, the 2 that are here, left and came back to raise their children here, because it's a great place to raise a family. The school system is outstanding. We produce more National Merit Scholars in Rock Island Mayoral school system than anybody else in the community. And so that's what I love about it. I love the history that this town has. You go back, how far do you want to go back with large corporations being founded here, the Weyerhaeuser Group, the logging that happened, but it brings a lot of history with it. In neighborhoods, your neighbors. You can be in a small, it's got the small town feel, but with the large town amenities. Whether you have the concerts at the Civic Center, whether you have the big Betplex, whether you have the Botanical Center, or you got a symphony, we had a symphony and ballet here that are just outstanding. So you got some amenities that big cities have, but yet you got small city living, where you can get from one end of town to the other in 15 minutes without large traffic. Those are the type of things that I love. The people, the loyalty, the friendliness, they make you feel welcome. I guess I could go on about the things that I love about it. It's walkable in most areas.
All right, thank you. Thurgood, what do you love about Rock Island?
It's probably my favorite question. But I love the people. I love on Friday nights going to a basketball or football game with Rocky versus Alderman, smelling the pork chops, the popcorn, hearing the chants and some booze. I love visiting Igor's on a Saturday morning for breakfast, stopping by Miss Bermani's to make sure my hair products are correct. I love meeting the families at the library and reading with the kids. I love working here on a day-to-day basis. As Mike said, he probably saw on my website, we do have the most National Merit Honor Scholars here in Rock Island School District. I attended the school district. My family does. And we need to tell our story about that. We do not tell about the greatness that lies here within the borders of Rock Island consistently. In fact, we allow others to do so. And most importantly, I love the fact that Rock Islanders take so much pride in Rock Island and take pride in each other. And what I look forward to doing is showcasing that, broadcasting about it. And quite frankly, I want to brag about Rock Island, Rock Islanders, and what we have here. So that way investors know that when they come here to invest, they're not invested in a city borderlines. They're invested in the people of Rock Island. And that's the best investment they'll make anywhere in this country, in the Quad Cities. And that return on investment will show proof by how the people of Rock Island reflect and engage with those that come here in Rock Island and truly and genuinely want to be part of our community here. I love everything about Rock Island, and that's why I'm running for mayor.
All right, thank you. Well, those were the 10 questions that we were able to share with you. So now we'll go to closing statements. That's 1 minute. And Thurgood, we'll start with you. 1 minute closing statement.
Thank you. Once again, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for this invitation. I had a great time, and I appreciate being able to share my message a little bit. I look forward, and I hope I get to get your vote on April 6th, because I look forward to working with all Rock Islanders. I want to create the partnerships with our union and our trades, some of which I've endorsed by. I want to create a partnership with our school district. I want to bring anchors that will build a small business hub in Rock Island. I believe we can create a state-of-the-art sports complex center here on 11th Street. I believe we can create a state-of-the-art trade school. And you do that by partnering with the people and the resources we have here at Rock Island. I love Rock Island, love the people, and I hope I can get your vote and your support April 6th, because it's long overdue that all Rock Islanders have a seat at the table, and it's transparent enough, and that we move forward together, and it's done outside of and beyond one person's goals or intentions. And so please vote for me for your next mayor of Rock Island, and visit my website, thurgoodmayor.com, to view my vision in its entirety and my first 100-day plans. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mike, closing statement, 1 minute.
But first, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters. Appreciate this opportunity. You know, I've proven last 4 years proved my record. I've added jobs, increased revenue, no tax increase this last year. We've cut some expenses, we've not reduced any services in doing that. We've held quarterly town hall meetings that we did not do before. We're more accessible to the community. We listen to the public. We've added diversity into many of the committees and commissions in the city. I wanted people to feel like this was their home, and they do. That City Hall is open and friendly and answers questions, and they feel they can visit there and see if there's any services that we can provide. And I want to thank Thurgood Brooks for running. I want to build a stronger Rock Island for you, and I hope look for your support on April 6th.
All right, thank you. Well, that concludes the questions and the closing remarks. We thank the candidates for their participation tonight and their willingness to run for this important office. Good luck. And I will ask you, please make sure you recycle your campaign signs. I want to thank the American Association of University Women, the Greater Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the League of United Latin American Citizens, the Republican Women of Rock Island County, the Rock Island County Democratic Women's Club, and our league members. We thank you, the audience, for coming, and remind you to vote April 6th and take a friend that can vote too. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Have a great night.